पता ही नहीं लगता, कमेंट आते दिखते नहीं। तो हाँ, आज मैं पूछ लूँ, वही होगा। दोनों के कमेंट खोल दो बस ना। ठीक। हाय, हेलो, गुड आफ्टरनून। सब सेटल हो गए, करें स्टार्ट? हाय फिल्मी कट्स, हेलो। पहले तो नाम चेंज कर लीजिए, उमर खान, सवार। हाय, गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन। हेमंत यादव। So in this class I will cover the weekly current affairs of June first week, and today I will discuss about 6-7 topics maximum, and also I will give you some homework to reading of some of the topics, like the 7-8 topics you will read on your own for a week. It's not like on a single day when we will take a next class on next Friday, so you will complete those topics. There are 7-8 topics only, so read one topic a day by. Okay, I'm providing the link also, so you can easily access those topics. So please organize a session on how to cover current affairs and how to make notes and how to approach. Yes, Satyam, sure, we will take this session also. Okay, we will try. Make current affairs you will find in the PDF form in tomorrow, day after tomorrow we will provide you. So again we are covering this topic, these sources आपको याद हो ही गया होगा. Indian Express है, Hindu है, Business Line है. These are the sources we are covering. So in this class, I will cover these topics. Number 1, productivity of the Lok Sabha and its implication. Second is recycling increasing toxicity. When we are using plastic bottles, Coke पीते हैं या फिर any of the drinks, we get the plastic bottles. So we are using recycle these bottles, but the recent study found that the recycling causing the toxicity in the plastic. So we will study. Then the Kerala Internet Service Scheme, only state in country which providing its state government operated Wi-Fi scheme. Then the Kosovo-Serbia conflict, and country first dimethyl ether fuel tractors, and the measures to notify the urban cooperative banks. So we will look all these topics one by one. So whenever we are reading these topics, you need to just connect with the syllabus, from which part of syllabus it is. Like productivity of the Lok Sabha from the GS2, from polity. Recycling increasing toxicity, GS3, environment. Kerala Internet Service Scheme, GS2, governance. Kosovo-Serbia conflict, GS2, international relation. Country first dimethyl ether tractor, GS3, environment. And the urban cooperative banks, GS3, economics. So whenever you are reading topics, you need to know from which part of our syllabus it's linked with it. So let's start the first topic. This was the article in the Hindu about the performance review of the parliament, performance review of the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. So it is found that, sir, do you PDF or whatever you cover? Yes, I will give. So in this performance of the parliament session, there was a question mark. This 17th Lok Sabha only have a sitting of 230 days. And this is the lowest sitting Lok Sabha starting from 1947. So this was a question mark, why so much less day? Kitna kam kyun hai? And what can be its implication? So this topic is important for your mains examination. Which kind of the question can be asked on this topic? It is seen that from the last 5 decades, the productivity of the Lok Sabha is continuously decreasing. Critically analyzed. Yeah. critically analyze, the simple statements from the paragraph and critically analyze. These kind of the questions. So you need to be right about the implication. What can be the implication of a lower number of days of the Lok Sabha? What can be the issue for it? So we will look at by point, and also data is also important here. If you are writing about okay. So in this class, I am discussing the current affair of the last week, those who comes late. So in this last week current affairs, every Friday we are having a session of current affairs at 2:15. The session is maximum of 1 hour. I am discussing the 6-7 topics, and on Saturday you will have a current affair test based on those topics, plus the other topics I will give you for homework. So this is a continuous process. Every Friday 2:15 I am discussing these topics. So we are covering the various resources here: Hindu, Indian Express, the Hindu Business Line, Down to Earth, Yojana, Kurukshetra, Environment Portal, etc. So there is no need to go to any other sources if you are continuous in this process. So your current affair will be completed only in the classes. तो यहाँ वहाँ भागने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा for specific for the current affairs. And the main idea of classes is not to cover the topics. It's how to read, how to use this information in the examination. If you are reading a topic, how it link with your syllabus and what type of the question can be asked by the UPSC. So these are the idea to conducting these current affair classes. Otherwise, पढ़ तो आप कहीं से भी लोगे. You can take the magazines, you can read it out. But if you don't know how to use these kind of the information in the paper and what kind of the question can be asked by the UPSC, so it become very difficult for you. If you are going on the road in the ORN, you will find the maximum material. इतना मटेरियल है कि एक टॉपिक पे आपको एक बुक मिल जाएगा. So in nowadays, material is not a problem, but the problem is how to concise that material. How I can concise the governance in the 5 pages. How I can concise the polity book Lakshmikant in 20 pages. That will help during the prelims and the mains. So the main idea to give skills to you. It's not about कि आपको पढ़ा दिया टॉपिक है. If I am teaching the 5-6 topic here, so it's become your responsibility. In a week, you are reading the 20 more topics based on these lines only. So today I will cover the topics like productivity of the Lok Sabha and its implication. So whenever you are reading a topic, you should know it's related to which part of your syllabus. So the productivity of the Lok Sabha and implication is in the GS2 polity. Then the recycling increasing toxicity. It's a new study found that every country is focusing on the recycling of the plastic because we are generating maximum plastic waste. So, but the recent study showed that the recycled plastic has a toxic element. Then the third, Kerala Internet Service Scheme, only state in India which providing its state sponsored internet service for the below poverty lines and the government offices. Then Kosovo-Serbia conflicts and the country first dimethyl ether tractor. And the final is the urban cooperative banks. So these 6 topics I will discuss here. I will tell you how the question can be framed on these topics. What is the relevance of these topics in your paper? In prelims also, in the mains also. So I will suggest write down the key points here. What are the key points? I will provide these PDF to you, but I will suggest write down the key points. So आपको याद हो जाए वो की पॉइंट्स. सो इट्स ओनली सुनने की बजाय आप लोग लिख भी लो, थोड़ा थोड़ा लिखते रहो साथ साथ विद द ईच टॉपिक्स. सो द फर्स्ट टॉपिक ऑफ प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ द लोक सभा. This topic is taken from the Hindu. It's on like 1st of June. It was in the Hindu, and the heading was the performance review. How the parliament has functioned till now. Everybody know there are 3 parts of parliament: President, Lok Sabha, and the Rajya Sabha. And if we are talking about the productivity, then specifically about the function of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So it was in news in the last session, in the last 5 years, there is only 230 days in which the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha works. Means out of the 5 years, only maximum I can the 6-7 months in which the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha works. So it is a direct implication of democracy. It is having a direct implication on the democracy of a country. If you are choosing your, अगर आप किसी MP MLA को चूज करके लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली या लोकसभा में भेज रहे हो, तो इट्स बिकम इट्स कोर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू कंडक्ट द सेशन ऑफ द लोकसभा. And in the last 5 decades, it's like a trend. There is a continuous decrease in the working days of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Yes, in the 5 years, there are only 230 days working days. And this was the data of the 17th Lok Sabha, but in the 16th Lok Sabha, there was 330 days only out of the 5 years. So means on an average only 50 days in a year. 50-55 days in a year. So the question can be framed on these type of topics like, it has been seen that in the last 5 decades, the working of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha continuously declined. It's what can be the impact on the democracy and the governance? Analyze. Simple statement from the newspaper. So you need to be right. What can be the performance? क्या हो सकता था? What can be its implication? But you need to be right the data also. Without data, it will become like you are just writing a normal information. That's everybody know. Data will make differentiate in between you and the other aspirant. If you are writing data in the questions, you will get a 1 marks extra than the others. Okay. So about the performance of the 17th Lok Sabha, number 1, fewest sitting days. According to the report, the 17th Lok Sabha only complete 230 days till now. And if according to trends we are going, only the 200 days left, and out of those 200 days, only 50 days are for the session. If they're taking these 50 days also, so total 280 days this Lok Sabha will work. And in the 16th Lok Sabha, the total days was 330. So there is a decline in the trends of the number of the sittings. If you have seen any of the news channel, आजकल news तो आती नहीं है, बाकी कुछ ही चलता है. But if you have seen during the parliament session, any of the MP of the opposition or the government in the power, they are not discussing about the bills, about the issue. वो आपस में ही लड़ रहे हैं, चिल्ला रहे हैं एक दूसरे के ऊपर. For this, we are not selecting those MP and MLA. They are selected for some cause. They should be working on the public issue. So this is the first point you will write, the fewest sitting days. There is a continuous decline in the trends and there is a continuous decline in the number of days of the working of the parliament. Then the second one, referrals to the bills to committee. Referrals of bills to committee. Anybody can tell why in parliament the bills are referred to different committee? Yes. For the scrutiny of the bill, so that it can favor all the category of the people living in the country. It should not favor to any specific category. So all the domains of the country, even if the Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, all the religions, all the caste, scheduled tribes, OBC, general, it should be according to everyone. ऐसा नहीं होगी particular section को profitable है, but the other section it's a disadvantage. So there is a scrutiny in the bill, scrutiny of the bill. But according to the trends, it's seen that only the 45% of the bill which was introduced in the parliament are referring to this committee. Means if I say the 17th Lok Sabha passed the 150 bills, out of the 150 bills, they are sending only 67 to this committee. Means there is a less scrutiny of the bill. There is a decrease in the scrutiny of the bill also. So if you see the parliamentary debate, they are passing the bill only on the basis of the voice vote. Even there is no proper voting system for the different kind of the bills in the last 5-6 years. So you can quote these kind of the data, only the 45% of the bill is sending referral for the parliamentary committee for their scrutiny. Then the legislative output. Third point is legislative output. Legislative output means here the number of the bills introduced in the parliament and how many of them pass by the parliament. Same example, if we are taking the 150 bills, out of 150 bills, how many bills are passed by the parliament? With proper scrutiny, with proper discussion, with proper details and amendments. So according to the recent data, out of the 150 bills, there are only the 120 bills which are passed by the parliaments. And out of those 120, there is a very less discussion. Even there is a debate about the recently passing of the money bill of the budget. There is one of the lesser time discussion on the budget this time in the history of India. They are given a very lesser time for the passing of the budget also. So it's have a negative implication on democracy of the country. If you are creating the budget for a year for a country which is developing, which is evolving in the world level, how you can pass a bill without any discussion, without any proper discussion? So that you can mention in the legislative output and the budget discussion. Yes, there is a role of the opposition also, and this is also a negative impact of the full majority. If there is a question related to the majoritarian government, it's good with respect to the coalition government, critically analyzed. You need to be mentioned about the positive and the negative side effects of the both type of the government. So that can also be a reason here. Next is the debates on the matter of public importance. And this is one of the negative effects. One of the large effects, debates on the matter of the public importance. Like in the last 9-10 years, after the BJP or the NDA government, there is a very less discussion on the public importance issue. And the live example of you can see the issue of the farmer bills, the issue of the wrestlers in the parliament, and the issue related to a different kind of the caste, different kind of like a census issue. The census should be passed by 2021, but due to the COVID it's delayed. But even after the COVID, there are 2 years, there is no action on related to the census. And now they are postponing the census to 2024. So that's also a issue. There is a very less discussion on the public importance matter. So what source of quote in the answer about the source? These are the like a PRS data. It's a public research. PRS is a website of government which is providing this data. So you can quote the name of the PRS there. Delayed election of the deputy speaker. Anybody can tell me who is the deputy speaker of Lok Sabha? In the last 5 years, today till the 1100 days is completed for the Lok Sabha, there is no deputy speaker. It's a convention, but it's a constitutionally mandated. There should be a deputy speaker. So it's a mandated in the constitution. There should be a deputy speaker. It's convention की opposition से होना चाहिए, लेकिन you can make from your party also. It's a convention created कि हाँ deputy speaker should be from the government and the deputy speaker should be from the opposition. So you can also make a deputy speaker from the opposition. So that's also an issue. In the last 1000 days of the government, there is no election for the deputy speaker. So how they will deal with the public issue? So these are the data about the performance of the recent Lok Sabha. If we see this data through the graph, so you can easily quote the data in your paper. These are the graph. If we see, this is the 17th Lok Sabha, 230 days. And when the it started, the maximum days in the first Lok Sabha was 677. Means 3 times of the 17th Lok Sabha. Then, in the case of the chart 2, the percentage of the bill referred to committee, there is a continual decrease from 15, 16, 17th. Then again, the number of bill passed by the each Lok Sabha, the 17th Lok Sabha passed the lesser number of the bills in the last 5 Lok Sabha. Last 5 Lok Sabha means the last 25 years. Then again the time spent on the budget discussion, least time, only the 16 hours spent on a discussion for 5 years के लिए जो डिस्कशन है, जो 1 years के लिए बजट पास हुआ है, यू आर स्पेंडिंग ओनली द 16 hours फॉर डिस्कशन. इतने में ज्योग्राफी का एक टॉपिक भी कंप्लीट नहीं होता है. दे आर डिस्कसिंग द बजट इन दैट टाइम. So this is a great implication on the development of the country. If you are just giving the budget to the different departments without analyzing the amount of budget required for the particular section, and you are passing the budget without any discussion, it's a very important issue. So in the paper, these kind of the issue should require there. General information nahi likhna hai. With the data, you need to write the information. Then if we see, the time spent on the budget discussion is the very less, and the day of election of deputy speaker, 1400 days till today. हाँ, हाँ, तो हर किसी चीज में डिक्रीज हुआ है. इवन द CAG presenting its report regarding the different issue, regarding different audit, उस पर भी डिस्कशन नहीं है. So they are checking about different type of lacuna of the government policy, कि यहाँ पे इतना स्पेंड होना चाहिए था, इससे ज्यादा स्पेंड है. जो ऑब्जेक्टिव एम्स थे, that's not completed. They are not discussing about that also. So this is about the implication of the Lok Sabha. And what can be the reason? Next part, what can be the reason of the lower productivity? Number 1, frequent disruption. जो हम देखते हैं in the parliament session, there is a continuously disruption. Recent session was due to the Adani. इससे पहले वाला session due to the farmer issue. Next session will be of due to wrestlers. उससे पहला issue due to the some of the other issue. So there is a continuous disruption in the session of the parliament. They are चलने ही नहीं देते हैं. हाँ, that's a disruption. That's a disruption. अगर आप वॉकआउट कर रहे हैं पार्लियामेंट, that's a disruption. Next is the lack of agreement. Even the government and the opposition are not agree on a particular topic. If they are passing any of the bill, any of the issue in the parliament, the opposition is not supporting that. So it's a from the both the side, also from the opposition side, also from the party side, the ruling party side. So working of the parliament is not a single party issue. It's not only the BJP issue. It's the issue of the all the party in the country. क्योंकि जब तक सेशन स्मूथली नहीं चलेगा, there will not be a question for related to the public matter also. So next is the shorter session. Initially, the length of the session was very high, like for the 50, 60, 100 days in one time. There are 3 sessions in the parliament, anybody can tell, in a year. The winter session. So these sessions, the number of the days initially were at 2 months, 3 months for the single session. Now only the 40 days, 30 days, 15 days. So that number is also decreased continuously. So these are the 3 major reasons why there is a low productivity in the parliament. Next is the implication. What can be the implication on a country like India? Delayed legislation. If there is a continuous disruption, if there is an increase in the continuous disruption in the parliament, there should be a delayed legislation. जो बिल लास्ट सेशन में पास होना था वो नेक्स्ट में भी पास नहीं हो पा रहा. दैट इज ड्यू टू द डिलेड लेजिस्लेशन. Lack of accountability and oversight. This accountability of the government. If you are in the ruling party, it's your accountability for running the parliament smoothly. Diminishing public trust for a democracy. Public trust is the above all. अगर आपके पास पब्लिक का ट्रस्ट है, then you only can win in the parliament. You can only win the election. If that is declining continuously, there is a issue in the democratic process of the country. And the last is the economic impact. What can be the economic impact? क्या हो सकता है economic impact? बाकी ठीक है. If they are not discussing the bills, we don't know how they are framed, what is the aims and objective of those bills, how they are utilized. Second issue, if there is a requirement of the passing of the new law for some specific governance issue and the party are not allowing to pass it, so there can be again the economic issue. During the budget session, if they are not discussing the budget according to the department's need, then who is accountable for that? That again the economic issue. So these are the major implications of the lower productivity of the Lok Sabha. So if our experience high growth in all sectors of the economy and witnessing decline in the democratic parameters, should we be concerned? Parliamentary proceeding was yes, बिल्कुल होना चाहिए. Development can also be in the autocracy, but in the democracy, people are supreme. They are above the development. So if in a democratic country, the parliament is not working well, that's a big concern for the country. Okay, so in this topic, we discuss about the three things. One is the performance of the Lok Sabha. Second, reason for the lower productivity. Third, implication of the lower productivity. What are the reason? क्या implication हो सकते हैं for the lower productivity? So these points you can directly mention in your answer if there is a question related to the productivity of the Lok Sabha or the Parliament. Through the direct data you can quote in your answers. Whenever you are reading an article, try to concise it within the 250 words, 150 words according to the requirement of the exam. तभी it can be a habit for a long time, like you are all giving the 2024. So you have 1 year time. If you are writing a one article in a concise manner on a daily basis, you have enough practice till the prelims. सिर्फ पढ़ने से, सिर्फ बुक पढ़ने से काम नहीं बनेगा, लिखने से ही काम बनेगा. उसको मल्टीपल टाइम रिवाइज करने से ही याद होगा. If you are not writing on a daily basis, it's a very big concern for you. So in the exam environment, we are having only 7 to 8 minutes to write the 150-200 words. It's not possible if we are not practicing it. That practice is the bigger requirement of this exam. That's why the mains का नाम mains इसीलिए है क्योंकि वही main exam है. That will decide your rank. 1750 marks. That completely based on your writing skills. आपको कितना भी आता हो, they don't know. They will see your writings in the paper. Okay. So let's move to the next topic. Next topic is about the plastic recycling. Every country is focusing on the recycling of the waste, specifically the recycling of the plastic, because the country are producing the very high amount of the plastic. Even the India is the highest producer of the plastic. Not the largest, but it's increasing on a day-by-day basis because the highest population in the country, in the world. And only the 20% of that generated plastic is recycled in India. And its target like about by 2040, we are targeting the 80% of plastic recycled. It was seen as a good step for the recycling purpose, but in a recent report by the Greenpeace is an NGO which works for the environment purpose. So in this report, the Greenpeace is saying if we are recycling the plastic, there is an increase in the toxicity in the plastic. There is an increase in the toxicity in the plastic. If there is an increase in toxicity in the plastic, that can be danger for the human being also. That recycled plastic will be used in the some of the packaging form. कुछ bottles बनेंगे, किसी का पैकिंग होगा, कोई फॉइल पेपर्स में कन्वर्ट होगा, and some of the other issues also. If that toxic plastic is used in the day-to-day basis, that will become a very big issue for it. And they also told about the reasons why the recycled plastic will have a toxicity. So this is a year-long study, and they give a basis of it. When we are collecting the plastic, so we are heating the plastic. Before recycling, we are heating the plastic. We are making them in the small beads. When we are heating the plastic, there is a generation of the some particular type of the element toxins in the plastic. Because the plastic is not stable after a temperature. There is some specific temperature for the plastic. If we are heating that plastic above that temperature, there should be increase in the toxicity in the plastic. Second, they give the reason about it. When they are recycling, there is a adding of the bacteria in the process. Bacteria, microorganism. That can be the major issue for the recycling also. So these are the reasons given by the Greenpeace for the recycling of the plastic. So it can also be a concern there. So what can be the best idea? Consumption of the less plastic. कम से कम plastic use करो, so that's it, there is a less generation. Instead of the focusing on the recycling, there should be a focus on the less consumption, less generation of the plastic. So the Greenpeace is a Philippine-based NGO, and it's in a global plastic treaty negotiation in the Paris से पहले they released a report about it. And they said that the plastic contain almost 13,000 chemicals, and out of those 13,000, 3,200 chemicals are known to be hazardous to human being. So this is a big data. 3,200 chemicals are dangerous to human being. If you see the most of the area in this area, या कहीं पे भी देखोगे, चाय पॉली बैग में पैक करा के लेके जाते हो. When you are taking the tea in a poly bag, that release the microplastic due to the overheating of the poly bag, and you are drinking that tea again, and that's on a continuous basis. That's a daily process for the human being. If you are packing the something hot into the, like अभी आप छोले भटूरे पैक करा रहे, the same thing with that, they are packing in the poly bags. Again the temperature issue, again the microplastic issue. That's release the toxins. So as an educated one, we are the educated one, so we can generate these process. So let's use the less number of plastic. जितना कम से कम हो सके उतना कम से कम यूज किया जाए. Even we can reuse it instead of recycle. If we can reuse the plastic, if you're taking a plastic bag, we can reuse it again and again. So they highlight this issue. The plastic contains the 13,000 chemicals, and that is the 3,200 are the hazardous for the human being. So whenever there is a question in the mains related to the plastic recycling, you can quote this data in the introduction itself. You quote the Greenpeace and you can quote this data. Next is about the recycled plastic contain a high level of toxics that can be the poison to the people and contaminate the ecosystem. So again, that's implication again. So they highlight the three pathway for the toxic chemical. कैसे recycled plastic toxic हो सकता है? So they highlight the three pathways specific for it. Number one, direct contamination from the toxic chemicals in virgin plastic. When we are using the plastic, so it can be contaminated by some of the things, some of the chemicals in the environment, and we are taking it for the recycle. पानी का बोतल लेते हो, पीते हो, डस्टबिन में डाल देते. We don't know for how many days put in the dustbin continuously. Then it's in the go to the government incinerators जहाँ पे सारा कचरा एरिया का इकट्ठा होता है. In that also it's for a long time, for a 1 month, 1.5 month. Then it's went to the दिल्ली के पहाड़. दिल्ली में माउंटेन्स वही हैं, 2-3 माउंटेन्स फॉर द कचरा. That's went there. Then again we are checking for the recycling from there. So in this process there is a 5-6 month of the process where the plastic start degenerating itself, थोड़ा थोड़ा होना शुरू हो जाता है, and that's include the toxic chemicals in it, and then we are picking it up for the recycle. Second, substance like plastic containers for pesticides. In agriculture we are using the pesticides for weeds removal from the agriculture field, and that bottle of the pesticide is also recycled with the water bottles or the similar kind of the bottle. So that can also be a case when a toxic chemical enter into the chain. Third is the heating process during the recycling, because the plastic is stable up to a limit. Sujal Chaudhary, what should be the way forward in the parliament question? You can write about there should be continuous importance for the increasing the number of days of the parliament, and also there is a required for the good time discussion related to the public matters, and there should be scrutiny of the bill before passing it. ये आप उसमें कंक्लूजन में या वे फॉरवर्ड में डाल सकते हो. Heating process during recycling means if we are heating this is a plastic pan, if we are heating it above the its boiling points कह सकते हैं, or its stability points, it start generating some amount of toxin that's become dangerous for the next chain for the recycling purpose. Okay, so these are the major issue. You can write these issue if there is a question related to it. Direct contamination from the toxic chemicals, even it can be in the prelims. 3 statements, how many statements are correct related to the plastic recycling toxicity? कौन सी 3 statements हो सकती हैं that can be impacted? Okay. So India में currently we are only recycling approximately the 9%, and we have higher targets till 2060. As per the global pollution reports, till 2040 the plastic consumption can be decreased, but it's a target by the global. होगा कि नहीं होगा, that's is a later question, but it's a target by the global plastic pollution as per the report. हाँ, single use plastic ban, but there is a limit, like for the single use plastic they give a particular thickness for it. Up to this thickness the single use plastic is not allowed, but after that thickness you can use that plastic. Like अगर आप देखोगे the poly bags are banned in Delhi for some particular period of time, but again the thickness of the poly bag increased, so you can sell it again. Similarly, the daily plastic, we use the plastic spoons. Even in the when you are drinking the soft drinks or 10 rupee 20 rupee you get a plastic straw. अभी वो replace हो गया है from the paper straw. Recycling, but again the recycling issue here. It's not decreasing the amount of generation of plastic. So aim should be how we can replace the plastic with some other thing which can be easily recycled without toxicity. That's the major question here. So this is about the toxicity of the plastic, कि इसको recycle करने के बाद क्या क्या major toxicity हो सकती है. Any question in this topic? कुछ भी? Okay, so next move to the next topic, KFON, Kerala Scheme for Internet Connectivity for All Households. This case study you can mention in your question on related to governance. If there is a question related to e-governance, you can quote this example directly. In 2022, there was a question related to e-governance in the paper 4. There also you can quote this case study. So the governance question can be in the paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. So you need to write according to that, and you can quote the case study of this one. Kerala is the only state in the country which providing its public infrastructure related Wi-Fi services to the below poverty line family as well as the offices. So initially they selected the 30,000 offices and the 15,000 family which are belong to the below poverty lines, and continuously they will increase it. And the speed is selected like from the 10 Mbps till 1 Gbps according to the requirement. Initially they are providing the fiber connection, they are providing the broadband connection, they are providing the Wi-Fi connections. So different kind of the connections are providing according to the requirement of the offices, requirement of the family. So anybody can tell me what can be the benefit of providing these kind of services to the common household? क्या क्या फायदा हो सकता है?
Provide boost to digital India
And awareness program, ठीक है? Yes, that's a major reason. It can reduce the digital divide because the Wi-Fi or the private services available in the country in the most of the region, we can say Jio, Airtel, Vodafone, they are providing the Wi-Fi services also, but it's not affordable by the common people. There is a data recent report released related to the economics. Ki in India, 80% of the population earn less than 10,000 per month. If a person is earning less than 10,000 per month, then how he or she can afford a 1,000 rupee monthly Wi-Fi connection? So where the role of the state came? If the state is providing these services at very lowest cost or at no cost, that can be a change of the governance model in the country. So you can quote these kind of the case study in your answers for getting the extra 1 or 2 marks. So this is about the KFON. This is a simple details. You can read the same thing. And the connection is from 30,000 kilometers, and there will be the 375 points of presence for the boosting of these connections. Initially, this is the setup for the fiber optical network of the Kerala. Next topic is about the Kosovo-Serbia conflict. Kosovo-Serbia conflict. Kosovo and Serbia specifically in the Balkan region. Balkan region क्या है? Anybody? हाँ. Specific in the Eastern Europe, these are the countries which are specifically known as the Balkan region. There is a story behind the Kosovo-Serbian conflicts. Ottoman Empire, everybody सबने सुना है Ottoman Empire. During the 13th century, Kosovo was separated from the Serbia by the Ottomans. After that, till the 500 years, Kosovo was separated from the Serbia till the Ottoman Empire remains. जब तक Ottoman Empire था, the Kosovo is different and the Serbia is different. But in the late 19th century, Kosovo is merged with the Serbia after the fall of the Ottoman Empire. Then the Kosovo and the Serbia was a single country there. But in the 2008, due to the religious issue, due to the issue of their culture, they are again separated. They became the two countries. One name is the Kosovo and another is Serbia. And the major issue is the cultural issue. Cultural issue. There are two kinds of the population in the Kosovo and the Serbia. One is known as the Serbians, which have the least number of the population. So in this case, again in 2008, the single country became the two country, and it is recognized by more than the 100 countries of United Nations, but not recognized by Serbia. So this is the important fact for the prelims. India recognized it. Indian recognized it. Even the US recognized it. So for us, what is the important? Once the location of the Serbia, location of Kosovo, some specific region in the Serbia and the Kosovo, some specific city, nearby water bodies in Kosovo, rivers, and if any major river in this region. If you see the 2023 prelims, there are 7-8 questions related to the locations only in the paper. Even in the last year prelim, there are the 5 questions from the locations of the geographical, even it's an Indian location or the world location. And it is seen that the major focus is on the conflicted area, like from the Sudan, Russia and Ukraine. From the Russia-Ukraine part, there are 3 questions in this year. So they are focusing on these areas. One of the other regions, because the chairman of the UPSC is a specified education in the international relation. So there can be the chance in the next prelims as well. So let's see in the detail about the issue kya hai. Recently there is again conflict in the Kosovo and the Serbia, and so the NATO sent the 700 military forces for the stability. But the army of the both the country fight with this NATO force and वो भी injured हो गए and the conflicts rise again. So this is an unstable region in the there. So many Serbs consider, जो सर्बिया है वहाँ के कंसीडर करते हैं कि आर बर्थ प्लेस इज कोसोवो, लाइक द इंडियन एंड पाकिस्तान. सब इंडियंस आर इन द पाकिस्तान फ्रॉम आफ्टर द इंडिपेंडेंस, कुछ रिप्लेस हुआ, दे कंसीडरिंग इंडिया इज देयर ओरिजिन. सिमिलरली दे आर कंसीडरिंग द कोसोवो इज देयर ओरिजिन. So that is a conflict of them, cultural conflicts. Then the Kosovo-Serbia conflicts from Kosovo declaration of independence from Serbia in 2008, and the Serbia does not recognize the Kosovo. So this conflict continued from 2008 and now the 2023, approximately 15 years. About the Serbia, Serbia is a landlocked country. So this is the important for the prelims. It's a small landlocked country, and in the Balkan region in the Eastern Europe. It shares the border with the Bosnia, Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Croatia, Hungary, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Romania, and Albania. Their specific river in the सर्बिया इज द डेनूबे, सवा एंड टीसा. सवा लेक के बारे में क्वेश्चन आया है यूपीएससी में पहले. सो इफ द एनी रीजन इन द conflict, so you need to know about the geographical features as well. What is the major river there, what is the major lake, mountains कौन से हैं, if there is any volcano, if there is any world heritage site, वो भी आप लोगों को आइडिया होना चाहिए. यूपीएससी विल नॉट आस्क कि सर्बिया कहाँ पे, ये तो नहीं पूछेगा. They can ask about the boundary country. They can ask about some specific location in the Serbia. And the highest point is the Daravika in the Serbia. So let's see by map. This is the map of the Serbia and this is the region Kosovo. जहां जहां पे conflict is shown there. Conflicted area in the Kosovo and the Serbia. Yes, it looks like a POK, we can say. This is the issue here. And in the Kosovo specifically, Kosovo is also a landlocked region. We will see a bigger map jahan pe we can see the country bounding these both of the country. And located between the Mediterranean Sea and mountainous region of the Southeast Europe and space in the Balkan Peninsula. So this is some of the information about the Kosovo and the Serbia. And in the Kosovo, 92% population in the Albania and the 6% population is the Serbian. So जो majority है वो Albanians की है and 6% Serbians की है. And that Serbians are considered Kosovo is their birthplace. That is also the region of conflict. So if we see through the map, Serbia. So these are the boundary country. Croatia, Romania, Bulgaria, Montenegro, Herzegovina. So these are the boundary country of the Serbia. You need to know about some of the specific place. वेलिजीवो, मजनापेक, जुगजा मुरावा, नोवी पाजार, negotiation board. These are some of the specific places in the Serbia you need to know. And in some of the specific in the Kosovo, which are in the conflicted region, like this is the conflicted region, Titova, Matrovica, this Eurosevak, these are the conflicting region in this area. Like if you see during the earthquake in the Syria and the Turkey, there was the most of the affected region there, जो सबसे ज़्यादा affect हुए, and they asked the question on that affected region. The specific pick that city and ask in the paper. Okay, so that's why the location has become the important. महाभारत की तरह नहीं कि इसको सर्बिया को ही देखना है, सब कुछ देखना है, फिश के साथ ट्री को भी देखना है. That's the requirement for the UPSC. In the next we can see these are the conflicted area again. तो ये मेजरली आपको पता होना चाहिए 5-6 एरिया. Next topic is about the urban cooperative banks. Anybody can tell me the urban cooperative banks works under which act? किस एक्ट के अंडर काम करते हैं? नहीं, ईयर, बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट. They also working under the Banking Regulation Act of RBI 1949. Also under the Cooperative Acts. So we will see. So अभी recently में RBI notify the 4 dimensions, 4 measures to help the cooperative banks. ये कैसे cooperative banks को strong किया जा सकता है? The name is cooperative banks because they are ownership by their account holders. मान लो कि आप सब लोगों ने मिलकर cooperative bank खोल दिया, तो यू आर द इक्वल शेयर पार्टनर, जितना जितना अमाउंट आप उसमें सेव करेंगे, तो यू आर ए मेंबर ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स. तो यू कैन डिसाइड वन ऑफ द मैनेजर, अपने में से किसी को मैनेजर चुनोगे, किसी को पीओ बनाओगे, किसी को क्लर्क बनाओगे, तो यू आर द ओनर ऑफ दैट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक. So in the India, the cooperative banks can be of 2 types, like some based on the rural basis and on the urban basis, urban cooperative banks and the rural cooperative banks. Then these can further divides. So we will see that division also. So a cooperative bank's financial entity that belongs to the members who will have their owners itself. जो members होंगे वही उसके owners होंगे. And they are regulated under the Cooperative Society Act of 1912, Banking Regulation Act of 1949, and Cooperative Society Act of 1965. So these 3 acts are important. Cooperative Society Act 1912, Banking Regulation Act 1949, and Cooperative Society Act of the 1965. So in the prelims, they are giving these kind of the data. This work under this act. तो ऐसा एक statement मिल जाएगा out of 2-3 statements. So if we see the division, they are the cooperative credit institution. They are divided on the basis of, one is the agriculture credit institution, second is the non-agriculture credit institution. Agriculture credit institution, they specifically give loan to the agriculture. One is the short term, another is the long term. In the short term, the state cooperatives, central cooperative banks, and the primary agriculture credit society, also known as PACs. This is the important topic for the prelims and the mains both. Primary agriculture credit society. Then if we see the further division, so these are the further division of the banks in the country. For your general knowledge, important नहीं है exam के लिए, but for your general knowledge, all cooperative banks, then it's urban cooperative banks, and then the rural cooperatives, then the state cooperatives, then the district cooperatives. After that, the primary agriculture credit society. So the primary agriculture credit society is at the root कि base level पे कैसे पहुंचाया जाएगा benefits को. That's the PACs at the district level, district cooperative banks. So RBI ने अभी notification बोला कि we are strengthening the cooperative banks, specifically for the urban cooperative banks. उनमें से एक था कि they are saying that initially the cooperative banks are required the permission of the Reserve Bank of India for opening new branches. Now that permission is not required. They can open the new branches in some of the other district also, in some of the other state also, but up to a limited number. That limited number is not defined. Second is there that branches should be only on basis of the health of the bank. If the bank has a good health, means having the good reserve, proper stability, no NPAs, they are allowed to open their branches in the other city, other district and the other states also. This was the second provision. Third provision was for the priority sector lendings, PSL. Initially, there was a time period for the priority sector lending for the cooperative banks कि आपको इतने टाइम में, take an example, for the 6 month you need to disperse this amount of the loan for the priority sectors. Priority sector like the education, agriculture, health, these are the major priority sectors जहाँ पे आपको lend करना है for the specific amount of your banking income. So now the timeline is also removed and it is extended. We can extend the timeline. Even after the timeline, we can achieve our target about the priority sector lendings. So these are some of the notifications, some of the changes in the rules of the urban cooperative banks, and these are specifically to the urban cooperative banks. ठीक है? हाँ, one-time settlements like if there is an increase in the NPA in the banks, so they can give some of the concession, some of the discount. Okay, instead of 10 lakh, you can pay 5 lakhs and do the one-time settlement. So first is the opening of the new branches. We discuss about it कि हाँ new branches are open कर सकते हैं without the permission of RBI. Initially the permission was required, but up to a limit. Second, facility of the one-time settlement for the efficiently operation of the banks. Recently there was a news, the Maharashtra cooperative banks, on which the RBI put in sanction because of the lower health of the banks. So they don't want the bank which having the higher NPA. So they introduced this mechanism also for the one-time settlements. So the bank can operate continuously without any issue. And the third is timeline for the priority sector lendings. Now the timeline for the PSL is also increased. Next is the nodal officer. RBI to appoint a new nodal officer to facilitate closer coordination and interaction with the urban cooperative banks. Initially nodal officers nahi the, now they will appoint a nodal officer for the urban cooperative banks.
Nodal officers are more at local level.
Yes, local level. Like if there is a district cooperative bank DCCB, तो वहां के लिए नोडल ऑफिसर अलग होंगे, स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स के लिए अलग होंगे. So जो भी स्कीम्स है दैट कैन परकोलेट टू द लोअर लेवल. कोई भी स्कीम्स होती है तो वो पहुंचती नहीं है. Like MSP, only the 8 to 10% farmers of the country getting the MSP. MSP चलता है last 50 years से. So that's the reason. So if the government is announcing any scheme, that should be percolate at the lower level. So these in the banking, nodal officer will check the health of the bank also and how the schemes can be going to the lower level. So this is the last one, dimethyl ether. The Department of the Science and Technology and the Niti Aayog build a new tractor which can be run on the dimethyl ether. So what can be the advantage of the dimethyl ether? क्या हो सकता है कि why we are replacing the petrol with the dimethyl ether? ठीक है,
Soot emission,
ठीक है,
high brake efficiency,
and
replacement of conventional fuels.
one of the reason India is the highest importer of the crude oil. If we are introducing the dimethyl ether in the tractors or any other of the vehicles, it will reduce the India import budget. मान लो कि हम $5 billion का import कर रहे हैं crude oil. If we are introducing these kind of technology in the transport sector, that will reduce our budget efficiently. 5 की बजाय वो 3 भी हो सकता है, 2 भी हो सकता है. But that will help in maintaining a good amount of reserve for the country. Second major issue, it will help in decreasing the pollution level in the country. Third, the wastage we are producing, that can be used to produce the dimethyl ether. So it can also help in the farmer for their doubling their income. Like during the winter, there is an issue related to the pollution in Delhi because of the stubble burning. That stubble can be used to production of the ether or methanol, we can say. That methanol can be converted into dimethyl ether easily. So that's why they're focusing on the blending of the methanol with the petrol, and now they're also coming up with the new technology which can be directly run on the dimethyl ether. So this was about this topic, why they are using it. So in the mains perspective, in the prelims perspective, what can be the advantage of the dimethyl ether above the petrol or the conventional fossil fuels? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many options are correct there? Or in the mains, there can be how renewable energy can replace the conventional energy. Discuss. So you can give this example there. DST and the Niti Aayog introduced this one. So new technology can help in reducing the import budget. Also, they can help in the saving the environment. So this is about the DST tractor. So you can write some of the topic you need to read on your own in this week. Number 1 is a tax devolution. ये आपको एक वीक में पढ़ना टिल नेक्स्ट क्लास तक. Number 1 is a tax devolution. This was from the Hindu, tax devolution. And there is a melting in the Arctic Sea continuously. तो Arctic Sea में क्या issue है major? You need to read about that. This is from the Hindu also. Hindu. Next is the Atlantic Declaration. Hindustan Times. Even can also be found in the Express as well as the Hindu. Then is the cyclone affects the monsoon onset. How the cyclone impact the Indian monsoon. What can be the other region there? You can note down tax devolution happening to Arctic sea ice, Atlantic Declaration, cyclone affects the monsoon onset, and the US-China tie and impacts on India. कैसे breakage in the US-China tie and how can it help India? So this can be a direct question in the international relation. ये आप पढ़ें, टेस्ट में नहीं आएगा. You need to be read in this week. ठीक है, हाँ, एक एक आर्टिकल डेली बेसिस पे पढ़ेंगे तो इट्स कैन बी कंप्लीटेड. नेक्स्ट इज व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज पुटिंग अ सीलिंग ऑन द व्हीट स्टॉक कि हम इतना ही लेंगे, हम यहाँ इतना ही स्टोर करेंगे. व्हाई दे आर डूइंग दैट? देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड टू इट इन द प्रीलिम्स. What are the major factors which are including in the cost of the wheat by the FCI? क्या क्या कोस्ट इंक्लूड होता है? ट्रांसपोर्टेशन होता है कि नहीं होता है? स्टोरेज कॉस्ट होता है कि नहीं होता है? इन्फ्लेशन के कॉस्ट होता है कि नहीं होता है? तो उस पर भी ध्यान देना व्हेन यू आर रीडिंग दिस आर्टिकल. व्हाई सेलिंग इन द व्हीट स्टॉक. नेक्स्ट इज द वन शॉट चिकनगुनिया वैक्सीन. तो यहां पे आपको डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ वैक्सीन में डिफरेंस देखना पड़ेगा. व्हाट इज द डीएनए बेस्ड वैक्सीन एंड व्हाट इज द आरएनए बेस्ड वैक्सीन एंड हाउ बोथ आर डिफरेंशिएटेड. एंड द चिकनगुनिया वैक्सीन किस बेसिस पे बना है? इट्स अ डीएनए बेस्ड और द आरएनए बेस्ड. नेक्स्ट इज द हिरोशिमा प्रोसेस फॉर द AI गवर्नेंस मॉडल. This AI governance model specifically focus on the education. How artificial intelligence or generative technology can be a game changer in the future education. ChatGPT. तो हमें वो नहीं बताना ना. We need to be tell how the artificial intelligence and the GPT can change the future perspective of the education in the country. तो वो बताना. Next is the heat wave condition. and the different type of alerts given by the IMD. If you see the 2022 paper of the mains of the geography, there was a direct question, what are the alerts for the cyclone given by the IMD? Similar type of the question can be also asked about the heat wave. There are 3-4 kind of the alerts issued by the IMD for the heat waves. So क्या क्या heat waves के लिए condition है, what can be the alert for it. Next is about the Anak Krakatau volcano, Indonesia. So you need to know about the location, nearby water body, and the other active volcano in this area. This is your homework for the next 1 week. ठीक है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं पढ़ना है. These are the important topics from the last week. I skip those topics which will repeat in the next months. तो वो नहीं पढ़ने, तो focus on these topics और इनको अच्छे से पढ़ के note down the data, note down the details which are required for the examination. Okay, so there will be a test tomorrow at 11 a.m. of 20 question MCQ. You can attempt in both offline and the online mode, but I will suggest attempt in the offline mode. So it will be a better idea. You are coming for the geography classes at 12, so come before half an hour or the 45 minutes early, so you can attempt that test. ठीक है? Satyam, you will find this PDF in your portal. Also, you can join the Edukemy daily newsletter where you will find this PDF. So you people can join the Edukemy daily newsletter channel. You can find the PDF of this one on the Edukemy daily newsletter Telegram channel. Okay. Okay, Lakshman, I will share the PDF in the comment section of this YouTube channel.